and welcome back to the News at Kate. Now this video is absolutely not going to win me any friends, right? But I think it's really important and we really need to talk about it. And what I want to talk about is porn. Now this isn't going to win me any friends for two reasons. Firstly, because almost everybody in our society is watching porn, especially guys, and like if that's you, like don't worry. Nothing I am going to say in the next 5 minutes is going to stop you from having a wank. You're fine. Like this is not a question of like trying to, I'm not going to take that away from anybody, right? But on the other hand, I also know that I have lots of fans who are long-term feminist campaigners and who have been talking for years and years about the problems with pornography, and those problems being the attitudes towards women that it encourages and espouses and promotes in our society, and also the abuse done to women working in the pornography industry. And I'm not going to talk about either of those things, but not because I'm not acknowledging that they exist. They do exist, they're real issues. There's lots of really well-written pieces about those things. But I want to talk about something else. There's a report which has come out in the last few days which says that among men under 40, in 2002, between 2 and 3% of those men were experiencing erectile dysfunction. And the number now, on the latest report, is up to 35% of men under 40 experiencing erectile dysfunction. Now, what has changed between 2002 and now? You know, have diets gotten worse? Maybe a touch, you know, like are people taking less exercise? Quite clearly, the major thing that's changed between 2002 and now is the wide stream availability of free, you know, one-click to access, extremely hardcore, extremely graphic, often extremely violent pornography, without, you know, that people can just click on and download instantly. And in fact, over that period of time, the pornography that kind of is very, very easily accessible has become more and more extreme. These days it's quite common for incest to be a theme in the kind of pornography that can be accessed in like 2 clicks. Oh, and also, when we look at the search terms that people are putting into pornography sites, we know that they're looking for some stuff which doesn't feel all that healthy. You know, teen is one of the most common search terms used in the UK. There's a specific channel called Punish Teen, and like, you know, I'm not trying to kink shame anybody. Like, you know, if you're into looking at somebody's sexy feet, then I actually think that's fine. I really don't mind. Like, you know, I hope that every foot fetishist finds their perfect pair. I just don't think that's a big issue. I'm not offended by tits. I'm not like, oh my goodness, there's a boob, get it away from me. But if your fetish is watching teenagers get hurt, then that's not okay. And we have to be able to address that. And if anybody thinks I'm kink shaming, I'll have you know that kink shaming is my fetish. So you have to let me do it. Because I'm enjoying it. So that's going on, and I think that's a huge thing that we're not talking about. And at the same time, there's some new legislation coming in, and the government keeps changing the date on it, but they say by Easter, possibly 1st of April, which makes it sound like it's going to be a joke and no one will know whether to believe it or not. But there is some legislation coming in which is going to change the way that pornography websites work in the UK, and they're going to mean that you have to like log on and essentially prove your identity and prove your age and that you're over 18 in order to be able to look at pornography sites. Of course it won't work, because what will happen is that over 18s will scan their passport in and will be able to continue watching the same stuff that they've already been watching, and under 18s who are much cleverer at using the internet will simply create an alternate VPN-based 19-bit DNPR, something I don't understand, right? And then they'll be able to watch it because they'll know some way of circumventing these kind of log-on things. But nonetheless, I think it will stop a lot of people from, actually, especially a lot of older people who don't know how to hide their tracks and will feel uncomfortable at the knowledge that the government or some anonymous data collection agency knows what they're up to. I was actually on an improv show, as you may be aware. I've been away for a lot of the last couple of months. I was in Australia doing my show. I did a wonderful improv show in Australia, and one of the things I was asked to improvise was a suggestion for a TV show that would be called Public Humiliation, and I suggested having people stand in the town square and showing their internet history behind them, and it was one of the most entertaining suggestions of the evening, simply because pretty much everybody in the room accepted that they would be hugely humiliated by that. People are unwilling to share what they've been watching, and it's so difficult to address this. People are going to be angry about it, but there's also, of course, parents who are going to feel like, oh, thank goodness, I don't have to worry about my child having access to this stuff. And I'm afraid to say that isn't even going to work. Kids are going to find a way around it. The whole thing is super complicated. I don't have a magic solution, because I'm not trying to say let's ban boobs. I've got some, I'm very fond of them, and at the same time I think we have to talk about what it is, how it's being produced, the impact it's having on our society, on attitudes to women, and also on men, because we now understand that it's having a huge impact on men. So in spite of the fact that this video is going to win me 0 friends, I'm just doing it because I feel like we have to talk about it. And if you want to know how hard it is to talk about pornography, go watch the comments. Guess what's going to happen? Thank you as always to all the sponsors. We really appreciate your support, and it's really good to be back, and hopefully lots more of these coming up soon. Thank you.